Hello and thanks for joining me for some more landscape photography. Now, as you'll have seen from the title of this video, I'm doing a gear review, which is not something that I'm generally known for. I do talk about the gear that I've bought every now and then, but in this instance, Haida approached me and said, would I be interested in checking out their new combined variable ND filter with a built-in CPL? And I thought, oh, that could be handy. Now, I have reviewed Haida's filters in the past, and to be fair, I found them to be pretty good. But I thought in this instance, I would break my rule of doing gear reviews, because if you're looking at this with a Micro Four Thirds hat on, so to speak, then you're probably interested in stuff that makes your equipment bag lighter and easier to lug about. Now, this little gadget here, which is the Haida Pro II MC CPL VND 77mm. I'm reading all that because I'm terrible at remembering stuff. I could never do anything that was scripted, I'll tell you that now. This little filter here is something that, if you want a really lightweight solution, would fit the bill very well indeed. It only weighs 48 grams. It's got a variable ND that runs from 3 stops up to 7 stops, so it's a really useful range. And with the polarizer built into it, you're only carrying one piece of kit. Let's just take it off this lens, and as you can see, it's really small and light. It only weighs 48 grams, but it is made of aluminium, so the build quality is excellent. Now, that's all well and good, but what about the optical quality? Well, one of the advantages, of course, is that the variable ND rotation ring is stopped, so you can't accidentally nudge it over and end up with one of those dreadful dark crosses that you sometimes get, especially if you're shooting with a wide angle lens. Now, I've been using this predominantly for filming, and on my MZCO 8-25, and I film with that for the most part at 8, because when I'm standing in front of it, I don't want to be too close, but I need to be able to reach out and manually focus. So this has worked really well. Absolutely no problem optically. In fact, it's as good a quality as I've ever used, and I normally use Case Wolverine filters for my stills photography. But I've taken an image with this in my last video. You've probably already seen the image if you follow this channel anyway. I'll put it up for you now. But that was shot using this filter. And while I was out making my last video, I also used it for pretty much all of my filming. So let's just head out and have a look at it in use. Now, this Haida Pro II variable ND filter with built-in polarizer, absolutely perfect for this sort of thing. In my last video, I described the shot that I'm currently working on, and it was taken with this very filter on it. What you do is you dial in your CPL requirement and then set the ND slider. I've got it wide open at 3 stops to get the shutter speed that I was after. But it's come in very handy today, not just for this image, but also for quite a bit of the filming I've been doing. And where this fabulous lightweight and rugged filter has come into its own is when I'm shooting bits of B-roll for my videos. I've been using it for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and even though I haven't shared much with you, I've tested it out quite rigorously. This sort of thing here, I've got this lovely pool, but lots of reflections on the top of it, and some fabulous colours on the bottom that I want to be able to get down to and see. And this polarizer on here really does the trick. But of course, at the same time, because I want to shoot using the 180-degree rule for my shutter speed, so I'm shooting at 60 frames a second, I want to keep it down to 1/125 of a second. And even though it's a bit of a cloudy day, it's still too bright to keep that shutter speed with my ISO at 200. So this set at 3 stops, absolutely perfect. And on a brighter, sunnier day, I could just dial in a little bit more ND and keep my shutter speed where I want it. I'm going to be making an awful lot of use of this. I really do highly recommend it. Well, that pretty much says it all. As I said, I turned down everything other than Haida filters at the moment. In fact, I'm probably shooting myself in the foot here, because every other manufacturer, there's no point in approaching him, he'll turn us down, but the likelihood is I will anyway. But this little gadget, which weighs nothing, slips into your camera bag and does the job of 3 or 4 other pieces of glass plus a filter holder, could be a really good solution, especially if you're just starting out and you don't really want to invest in a big series of 85 or 100mm glass filters and a holder. And let's be fair, by the time you've added a CPL and a 0.9 soft grad, a 3-stop, 6-stop and a 10-stop, you've blown 500-600 quid. This would be a really good introduction. Slip into your bag, you wouldn't notice it was there, but you'd get really good use out of it. It comes in 3 sizes, so it starts at 67mm. This is the 77, which is just big enough for my largest lens, and then for smaller lenses I just use step-up rings. It also comes in 82mm, so one of those will fit you. Just get the largest one that you need and just use some step-up rings that only cost £5 each off of Amazon. I'll put a link to this in the description below where you can get hold of it by mail order. And yeah, any questions, leave a comment, get in touch, whatever. But as I said, when I was out down by the river, I really do recommend this, so worth checking out if that's the sort of thing you're after. Anyway, let's leave it there for this one. Some proper photography next time. Thank you ever so much for joining me. I hope you found it interesting. And if you did, why not subscribe and join me next time. Cheers.